In this lesson, we're going to start the UVs of the barrel. All right, so let's go ahead and select all of the other polygons that are not straightened out. So let's open up the UV editor. Let's select all of these right here, and notice that those are the barrel, and there's actually these parts that are on the frame as well. What we can do is go ahead and let's take care of that. Let's make sure that we are on, what smoothing group is this? I believe that's going to be smoothing group 5. Let's try 4. There we go. These smoothing groups, this is going to be on smoothing group 1, I'm sure of it. Nope. Let's see, smoothing group 2, or 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Nope. So we have some surfaces here that aren't on smoothing groups. Okay, we need to make sure that we take care of that before we go any further. Okay, so sometimes this happens, not a big issue. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this. Now, if this happens, you can keep what you've already done. Nothing wrong with that. We'll just right-click and convert it down to editable poly. And what that's going to do is it's going to collapse what we've done in our UV already. So now we are back to edit poly mode, and then I could just come in and say, all right, let's put these on a different smoothing group. I apologize, I thought I got those, but I guess I didn't. So let's put this on smoothing group 4, just like these parts here. So smoothing group 4 on that one. Okay, that's great. And then let's take this one, and these polygons here, and let's put them on their own smoothing group. Now that needs to be flat. So this is going to be smoothing group 1. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this on smoothing group maybe 3. But I want to make sure that I'm not selecting anything that's already on smoothing group 3. So we'll put these on smoothing group 3. And there we go. Okay. So now we need to make sure that we get those parts done. So let's go ahead and open up Unwrap UVW, add that to our modifier list, open that. Okay, now you might be looking at this going, oh no, everything is gone. We just need to zoom out. So let's go ahead and go in here, and we're going to do one quick thing really quick. We need to add all of this back. So I'm going to go to polygon mode, element. I'm going to select this right here, but then I'm also going to select these, and I'm going to make those part of one UV cluster. So I'm going to use the planar projection on that. Let's use the, I believe, the Y direction. There we go. Let's scale that in the horizontal. And let's try that here. Get that as close as possible to the correct shape, and then we'll relax that. And you'll see here that that didn't relax as well as I would hope there. Now the reason for that is because it's trying to bring all those polygons together, and it looks like maybe some of those are flipped around. So if it does that, right click and mirror horizontal, then let's start the relax, and there we go. Okay, go ahead and turn off that background so we can see that easier too. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to bring this back up in here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, kind of like the way we had it, and then I'm just going to scale it down in all 3 directions again. Okay, I apologize for that. I didn't realize that we had missed some parts there, but that's okay. It's all part of it. We don't really have to put this in a group or anything like that. Just leave it right where it's at here. Okay, so now back to the rest of these pieces. We have this guy here. Let's go ahead and just make planar in the Z direction. And because it's just 4 polygons, we can go ahead and use the relax on this one. So it's not going to tear it up or anything like that. Let's go ahead and close that down. Let's move it. Turn off planar projection. Pull that up here. Just out of the way for right now. Select all of these. And there we go. So now we have the rest of our pieces here. And it looks like this is on what smoothing group? Did we leave this one off too? Really quickly, let's right click and convert to editable poly. Let's take this polygon right here and let's select those. And I think we may have forgot to put those on a smoothing group. Now, seeing how it's part of this here, it's going to be part of that object, let's go ahead and make that part of smoothing group 3 as well. Making sure that we don't have anything else that's part of smoothing group 3. And that's on its own smoothing group. So we have 3, nothing, nothing, and 1. So let's put this on smoothing group 2. This is all on 3. And we'll just do that. Okay. And I apologize for that, but sometimes we miss those things. It's better safe to go ahead and make sure to check that and to show you how we can recover from that. So let's go ahead and bring back our unwrap UVW, and then let's go ahead and take care of those areas. So open that up, bring that back across here, and then let's go in and let's take the rest of these. Let's take this guy right here. I'm going to take everything right here and I'm just going to go ahead and flatten that out. So let's go to mapping, flatten mapping, hit OK. Turn off that background there. And we've got a lot of our parts here and we can go ahead and just start stitching those together. There's going to be a few of these areas that are going to have a little bit of trouble because these belong to other parts. Okay. First off, let's go ahead and start right here. So select that edge, we'll stitch that. Select this edge and stitch it. And then this one, stitch that. And that should be that entire cylinder all the way around there along the edge. Okay, yep, that's good. Let's take a look at this one. What is this? Just find out exactly where that's at. Okay, that's right on along that edge there. Double click on this edge here. And we want to stitch that to wherever that goes. Let's find it. No, it's here somewhere. There it is. Double click on this edge first and then stitch that together. And then we'll bring that all together. We'll relax it. Okay, so that way we know all of that goes together there. Okay, great. And then got a couple of, that's fine right there. That's great. Then we need to bring the barrel all together. Okay, so this is going to be pretty easy actually if you really think about it. The barrel is going to be made up of a couple of different parts. They're going to be split apart by edges here. And so I want to take this edge and this edge. Let's actually just select those this way. So this edge, and taking a look at where that connects to, I'm going to go ahead and stitch that piece. And let me actually move that cluster out of there so that way we can see it. So you can see all of that's together. And then I'm going to take this edge right here and this edge, and I'm going to stitch whatever goes to it together. And let's take this edge too. So we'll stitch that. Okay, and take that cluster, move it out again. And double click on this edge. Whoops. Take this edge and this one. And it's basically like a cylinder, if you think about it. So all of those, and we'll just simply stitch. And then we'll take this loop of edges, and notice how it comes back down to here. So all of that is together there. So looking at this, we've got that entire barrel. We've got that separated out from those other pieces. We have a couple of problems with this, though. If we try to bring all of that together, let's go ahead and do a relax on this. And this is going to probably tear up the UV a little bit. You'll notice that that one edge comes off, tries to relax. Let's hit Control Z one time and then start the relax again and then stop it before it crosses that. So now you can see where the UV is. Now I'm not really happy where the UV seam is on that. It's coming out right here, and then we have it right here. I don't really care much for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split it. Let's put the UV seam right along this edge right here. So I'm going to take these polygons, this little arm that's hanging off of that, I'm going to right click and I'm going to break that off. Then what we'll do is go to edge mode, and if I double click on this edge on the other side, I can actually stitch that back. So it comes back to the other side here. We select that entire thing and we can relax that. Okay, and notice how it's much neater than what it was before. And we've got the UV, it's kind of in an inconspicuous place. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and take care of the other pieces. Most of this should be pretty good for the most part. Let's see, we've got this piece here. Let's go ahead and select by element. We've got that. That looks pretty good. We've got this one back here. That looks good. This guy here, that's going along the bottom. If we really wanted to, we can bring all of that together from here to here. So let's go to edge mode and we turn off the element. Select this edge, let's stitch that, and then double click on this edge and stitch that. So that way it's all one piece there. We don't have to do it that way, but it just helps to have less clusters to deal with. Now when we bring those together, let's go ahead and just relax by polygon angles just to take care of it. Alright, so there's that. Okay, that looks good. And then we have this piece, which is all on its own smoothing group. That's already up here on its own. What is this piece here? Looking at this, that's going to be the inside of the barrel. So pretty easy to deal with this. Let's just go ahead and select these edges. And you can pick any edge that you want and just stitch it all together. And we'll do it till it's all one piece on the inside. Select that entire group or element and we'll relax that by polygon angles. Okay, there we go. And we'll pull that up out of the way here, pull that up here. And then we've got these last few pieces. So that's on the inside, that's going to be flattened, that's good. We have that, that's around the edge of the cylinder. We have this piece here, which is part of the sight that needs to be on its own smoothing group there. We have this part, which is good. Then we have the front and the back, those are great. And then we have the sides of the sight. Alright, so let's take all of these pieces in this weapon so far, and let's go ahead and pack all of that together. Now what that does is it makes sure that it normalizes all of the clusters. We've got all of that together. They're all split apart. We're looking really good. And let's go ahead and deselect that. Take a look at your UV. It's nice and clean, nice and even all the way through. That's going to make sure that we get even detail throughout the entire thing. So now that we've got that, we need to go on to our next piece. And that's going to be our cylinder. And this is going to go pretty quickly because we're just going to start breaking it apart, get all these pieces UV'd, and then we'll start the baking process.